don't got a mom or a dad, and I'm 17, my life is filled with trauma and shit. Don't know what is or what is not my identity, which I think he's lying to himself there, but got a sense of who I am. How do I get my identity back? Well, he doesn't have one to start with.
Exactly.
Yeah. So for this guy, do you want to talk about his parents first? Like, he doesn't have a mom or a dad.
In my clinical experience, people are very resilient to trauma unless it implicates sexual trauma or parental trauma. So somebody like yourself, John, who experienced a war, came here as a refugee, very resilient to that trauma in some ways because there was this perception that your parents had it under control. Somebody who experiences parental trauma from these people who are meant to protect them, save them.
Like if we came here with grandparents instead of parents, we feel a lot.
People are very susceptible to parental trauma, not very susceptible to acute trauma.
What do you mean by that?
Accidents coming from war. They rebound very well if the parents are in the picture.
Oh, okay. Oh, like the superheroes are in the picture.
Very vulnerable to parental trauma.
Yeah, because I say, like, these guys without parents, obviously the work can be done and they can be superstars, but it seems like tackling a different beast. And what's funny is I always make them feel better by saying, do you know how many fucking losers have both parents in the picture? They're still fucking depressed losers. So I focus on that.
The whole premise of counseling is that you can, with therapy, that you transfer the relationship you had with your parents onto the therapist, and the therapist undoes the trauma.
Right.
And so you re-experience that. You create a new object relationship with your parents.
Some people do that with a coach, like Mike Tyson, right?
Without the parents even being there.
Mike Tyson didn't have his parents, and he did it with a coach.
Yeah, he created an object relationship with his parents through his coach. If that makes sense.
Right.
Because
you always need a superhero above
the relationship he had with his parents was transferred onto the coach. The coach directed that back to him, and he was able to find some meaning around it. So I'm very optimistic around trauma, integrating the trauma, and finding a place of resilience. But parental trauma is a tough one.
Yeah,
that's experience. That's been one.
Well, what could be worse?
Yeah.
What could be worse, right? We'll do one more quick one. It just says, if an internal object relationship is being repaired, but external interactions keep reinforcing the internal view of self, so it's not being repaired. How to change how you see yourself as well as others. So basically you're saying, if the internal object relationship is being repaired, but the external interactions keep reinforcing the internal damage, he's pretty much saying it didn't, right?
That would be difficult. I think you'd have to address that in therapy, but my initial perception is there's something being done to sabotage yourself in order to keep reinforcing. Ending up in experiences that are reinforcing that.
Relationship. Yeah. For example, the sabotage would be
self-sabotage,
video
games, anything that sort of does damage to you and keeps you in a familiar and uncomfortable and bad place, right? So the mind seeks familiarity above all else. So anything that pulls you back to, like you're saying earlier, if you have the chance to hang out with a billionaire and you sabotage that, it's because you don't want that sort of change. You don't truly believe you're worthy.
Yeah, like it comes with a responsibility that you're like, oh, more hours, right? Advice for someone whose mother wasn't around. Yeah, we're wrapping up. But advice for someone whose mother wasn't around at a young age because she worked all the time, and whose father was there only 4 years total. This guy, don't resent that dad, but he fucked up. The dad was only there 4 years, and none of my family was around in the same country as me. This guy should be a fucking diamond under this pressure. What should I look out for and do? This is like the worst hand you could be dealt. Mom always working, never was there for him. Which there are worse scenarios. He's not the worst, but this is pretty bad. And dad only 4 years total. I would say I'll start. I know this guy has some resentment towards these kind of things.
And that resentment, the anger that he has towards his dad for abandoning the family, he cannot project it onto his father. He's going to project it onto himself.
And girlfriend.
And it will manifest as depression.
Right. And girlfriend and everyone around him.
And everyone around him, but specifically towards himself. It becomes self-criticism. It becomes hatred of the self, because that frustration and anger you have gets redirected back towards you when it doesn't find another target. And so be careful of any anger and resentment you have towards your father, because it's being redirected towards yourself and you're taking the punishment there.
And also there is this day as an adult that comes to you where you realize your dad isn't a superhero and you're thinking more of the perfect divine father.
But it doesn't matter, because you have an object relationship with the father.
Right.
So even if you see that, there's still some template that's been created for what a father should be based on your childhood experience with him. Does that make sense? We'll get into all this stuff, guys. The podcast is supposed to be weekly.
I like the parent stuff a lot, because so many guys in every community, not just mine, they talk about growing up with one parent or this, that. In my head, I'm like, man, nobody focuses on answers for those guys. Those are right, especially because we came from like two good parents, so we forget about this one. We already answered that. One last small question. Sorry.
Getting paid by the hour, dude.